Good morning. This is the Gore Report here with another edition of Is It Monday Yet for October 13th, 2025. So I won't talk much about the government shutdown. We touched on that in detail last week. We are at day 13 and we are still at a standstill. The ball is still in Democrats' court as the Republicans stand united. President Trump stated he has started firing in Democrat-oriented agencies. The longer this shutdown goes, the leaner the federal government will become, and a lot of the fired employees will not be rehired. Political posturing at its finest. Who blinks first? Now, moving on to market news. Last week was a tale of 2 weeks. It started with a euphoric high and ended with a rather significant thud. The euphoric high was powerhouse chipmaker AMD announcing a strategic partnership with OpenAI for AI chip technology. The stock, AMD, saw a 30% surge last week, which helped the overall market reach new highs to start the week. As I stated in the last week's Is It Monday Yet audio, these strategic partnerships are providing a buffer to the macroeconomic environment and political headwinds that are currently present in the market. Now, this is something that's really interesting. OpenAI has signed about $1 trillion in computing deals between NVIDIA, AMD, Oracle, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, and Broadcom. Now, the concern is these deals may result in a circular AI bubble where each party among the chip makers and the hyperscalers, the Googles, the Amazons, and the Facebooks I mentioned, are investing in each other and committing large capital to purchasing product from each source within the investment loop. Now, here's the risk. The risk is that if one or two of these companies within the loop falters, then there is high risk for the entire investment loop to fail. For now, it is welcomed by markets and encouraged by the current administration, the Trump administration. This has not been done before. This type of business has not been done before. It will be intriguing to watch how everything plays out over these next 4 years. So watching OpenAI conduct business with these different hyperscalers, we'll have to watch and see how everything plays out. Now, on to the bad news, how the week ended. Out of completely nowhere on Friday, we saw a rapid escalation of trade tension between the U.S. and China. President Trump announced the U.S. would impose an additional tariff on all Chinese goods on top of any existing tariffs starting November 1st. Now, this came out of nowhere. Why did this happen? What caused this? The president claimed this was a response to China planning to introduce sweeping export restrictions on rare earth minerals. If you've been paying attention these last few months, President Trump cares about rare earth minerals. He's passionate about it. It has been a sticking point for him when negotiating with Ukraine's President Zelensky. Trump will not do anything with Ukraine unless the U.S. is able to get a piece of their rare minerals. The president wants a piece of rare earth minerals and sees the U.S. benefiting from acquiring them from as many countries as possible. China has stated that this move to restrict exportation of rare earth minerals is a retaliation from the U.S. restricting semiconductor chips, mainly NVIDIA. So for the longest, because the U.S. fears China steals our intellectual property, we restricted chips to China. And so China is saying, well, this is why we are limiting exportation of rare earth minerals. This news was released on Friday and the market went into complete chaos with major averages dropping. The Dow gapped down 2%, the S&P 500 dropped 2.5%, and the tech-heavy NASDAQ was down about 3.5%. Is chaos about to happen? Not so fast, because what we're now going to do, we're going to fast forward to what exactly happened this weekend. Now, looking at Sunday, the tone of the messaging isn't so aggressive from Trump. Now Trump is stating that everything will be fine with China and nothing to worry about. So this is how I interpret the situation. This is me speaking, the Gore Report speaking. President Trump, I think, looks at the stock market and he sees we're at all-time highs and he has leverage and is probably pushing China to get a reaction just to see what'll happen. In my opinion, he wants to keep China uncomfortable, which is understandable. He's doing this because he can. He has leverage. I'm not sure Trump does this if the stock market is not at all-time highs. He's keeping China honest and also gauging the reaction of markets. I think that this is why he backed off over the weekend. He's using these tariffs as leverage over these countries, not just China, but mainly China. I honestly don't mind the stock market going down. We've been hitting highs for the last 2 months, and a pullback is fine. But let's see how all of this pans out. But as of right now, Trump is backtracking. But I think he was just testing the waters to see what will happen. So on Tuesday, we are receiving earning reports from J.P. Morgan, BlackRock, Citigroup, Goldman Sachs, and Wells Fargo. On Wednesday, we will receive reports from Bank of America, Morgan Stanley, and Friday, American Express. So we're right in the thick of earnings season. So earnings season is back. On the upcoming economic news front, CPI, Consumer Price Index, which was originally scheduled to be released this week, will be released on Friday, October 24th, due to the government shutdown. This delay will be due to the government shutdown. PPI and the jobs report will not be, are pretty much suspended indefinitely from being released. As of now, this morning, the future is indicating the Dow to open over 400 points at almost 1%, the S&P at 500 at over 1%, and the NASDAQ at 1.5%. And this is due to Trump backtracking for the most part. Have a wonderful work week.